It is Friday, October 4th, 2013 at 4 o'clock p.m. If you would all please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Esley.
Present.
Councilman Marasco. Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilwoman Skrobach.
Here.
Supervisor DeRizio.
Here.
Thank you.
Even though this is a special board meeting, there's some information I wanted to relate to our residents. We try to communicate clearly about our town, but if words are lifted out of context, there can be miscommunication. I wish to clarify the facts on the recent protocol implemented with the Regal Cinema. Since businesses also pay municipal taxes, they receive some of the same benefits for public safety in public areas as a private homeowner receives on his private property. Public safety is one of the most important functions of government. The action plan used recently was not uncommon to the normal procedures followed during the 3rd platoon. No additional expense was incurred, and every car is readily dispatched to other areas as needed. We are proud of the Irondequoit Police Department for its commitment and professionalism in keeping all residents and visitors safe within our town. Since the town departments and I have completed the 2014 tentative budget, we shall meet with the town board on October 8th, 9th, and 10th in the Broderick Room. We shall review each department line by line at the preliminary budget, and the hearing for this budget will be on November 7th. We have kept the tax rate at $6.51 per 1,000, so your tax bill will be the same as next year. We are purchasing police cars, equipment for DPW, replacing outdated computers, and budgeting for contingencies. Not only is October Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but also National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We ask you to show your support and commitment to stopping the silence and cycle of abuse within our greater community by displaying purple. Many of us are wearing purple ribbons, and purple lights are shining in the gazebo on the town hall campus. Join the 31 days of purple light by displaying purple throughout our town to spread the word and raise awareness against domestic violence. Please follow the instructions on the letter that residents received from Albany for filing the basic star on their school taxes. Due to fraud, the state is requesting basic star holders to renew their exemption, which must be done by December 31st, 2013. You must renew online or call the phone number. On the letter, you received a code to use. You must follow the directions and use the code to secure your personal information, including Social Security numbers. I apologize that town employees cannot perform this task for security reasons. And finally, code compliance is taken seriously by the residents in town government. These codes are adopted after public hearings and are placed on the books for implementation and execution. These become the laws and codes for employees and residents to follow. Do not ask to be exempted from paying the fees and penalties for non-compliance. So with that, we can go on to the items on our agenda.
Item 10, Special Town Board 2013-1, authorizing the hiring of an assessor in the town of Irondequoit.
Motion, please. And a second,
Second.
please. Thank you. Whereas currently the town of Irondequoit has a vacancy for an assessor due to the resignation of the previous assessor, and whereas the supervisor has interviewed several qualified candidates for this position, and whereas after considerable review, the supervisor is recommending that Ensa Minio be hired to fill this position at 4/5 of a full-time position, and now therefore be it resolved that authorization is given to hire Ensa Minio as assessor for the town of Arundecoit at a salary of $48,000 to represent 4/5 of the annual salary from Budget Code 001.1355.100.1100. This resolution shall take effect on Monday, October 7th, 2013. We interviewed several applicants. We brought applicants back for second interviews, and Councilman Marasco was in on those. We had lengthy conversations following, talked with other candidates, and on reviewing all the scenarios in our town, I would like to recommend Ensa to this position. Any questions? Discussion?
Anything to say, Mr. Marasco, since you were in there?
I met with the final two candidates, and it was actually very close. They both were very comparable in their skill sets. I think Mary Joyce talked to some of their prior employers, and I think that's what kind of made us push one over the other. Their superiors gave some certain reviews that were more favorable than others. So I think that kind of pushed the scale.
It does, and we have to look at Arundecoit and our residents and what we're looking for in that personality of customer service, firmness but friendliness.
Thank you. I knew the supervisor, she had filled me in too, but I just wanted to hear your perspective on it. That's great.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing no further discussion, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And it's my privilege to introduce Ensa Minio, if she would like to rise.
Oh, nice. Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I have a stack of work for her to begin on Monday, but I have to commend the people who have been working in the assessor's office during this period of time to really keep things moving for our residents, as well as complying with everything that needs to be done. So we're anxious to bring you aboard, Ensa, and thank you very much for wanting to come to Arundecoit.
I think, Madam Supervisor, I do just want to remind the folks, the reason only one of the council members is in on things like this at any one time is because of the open meeting laws. If there are three present, it would form a quorum and would have to abide by open meeting laws, which just isn't appropriate for interviewing candidates. So.
Also, in terms of the position that was advertised, you have to have the accreditation as a sole assessor. We were also looking at individuals who had strengths as appraisers, and so these candidates had that as well. And looking at past experience and the recommendations of the other municipalities. So, okay, thank you very much.
Item 10, STB 2013, number 2, authorizing the promotion to Chief of Police.
Motion, please.
Moved.
And a second, please. Thank you. Whereas currently the town of Arundecoit has a vacancy for Chief of Police due to the retirement of Chief Boyan. And whereas the supervisor has interviewed qualified candidates for the position of Chief of Police and finds that Deputy Chief Tentillo is the most qualified candidate to fill the position of Chief of Police, and whereas the supervisor, after considerable review, examination of portfolios, and lengthy discussion with the candidates, is recommending that Deputy Chief Richard Tentillo be promoted to Chief of Police. And now therefore be it resolved that authorization is given to appoint and promote Richard Tentillo, the Chief of Police, at a salary of $119,010.78 from Budget Code 001.3120.100.1100, and this resolution shall take effect immediately. Discussion.
Well, I know the community is solidly behind this because I have heard from so many of our town residents that heartily endorse Deputy Chief to rise to the rank of chief, and I have a hearty amen for that myself.
And first of all, great big congratulations to the police chief. I think this is one of those jobs where I think the fit is right for the community. He has a lot of people in town really supporting him, which is really great. And another thing we forget, I think we have to thank his family as well. These are very demanding jobs, challenges, day-to-day challenges you probably don't even know are there yet, Chief. And congratulations to you, and also, again, thank the family because they're giving you to the town for quite some time now. Thank you.
Well, congratulations. I think we've made a wonderful selection because the chief has one foot in the past with one in the present and the future, and I think we're going to be very well served, and we're lucky to have him. So congratulations and thank you.
I would also like to congratulate you on your new position and for your outstanding dedication to duty and to our community. I also thank you for giving us the opportunity to view your portfolio. I really appreciated that. And what I'd like the community to know is the fact that you had developed and implemented for the Arundequoit community 15 different programs since you have been here. So I was totally impressed by that. And some of them was the DARE, Arundequoit Crime Prevention Coalition, Neighborhood Watch, the Citizens Police Academy, Junior Police Academy, Senior Citizen Police Academy, DWI, the list goes on. So I was very, very taken by that. And I've heard your name for many, many years. My children, I've seen you. So welcome. And you will serve our community well.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, let us vote. All those in favor of adopting this resolution, assigning to Chief of Police Richard Tentillo, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Congratulations. And since we have the media here, I would love Chief Tentillo and his family to come up front, please. We will be swearing him in with the oath of office at the October 15th board meeting, but I'd like him to be recognized right now and to say a few words.
Well, first of all, as you heard from Councilman Perticone and others, that it certainly takes a great family in order to achieve some of these things along our professional career. I'm also very honored to have my very first police chief here from the Fairport Police Department, Joseph Picciotti, who taught me a great deal about this job and this career and what it meant to individuals. And we've remained friends, and he's been an ally for a number of years. My wife is very supportive, the kids are very supportive, and really enjoy having their dad as a police officer. And they understand when I have to leave the house. My son Richard and his lovely wife Andrea. My son Richard, ironically enough, is a Monroe County Sheriff's Deputy and now is in crime prevention. He might be asking for that list of various programs to use. Lastly, but certainly not least, the support of the town board, not only for my position, but for the entire police department. The fact that they support the men and women of the Arundequoit Police Department, an exceptional group of people that work for the purpose of public safety and common good within our community. So thank you very much. I've been very blessed with a supportive family, supportive friends, and supportive colleagues that I've had the opportunity to work with over the years.
Deputy Chief, before you finish, I'd like you to take the opportunity to brag about your son a little bit, because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilwoman Nestle. Just last week, my son Richard was awarded a life-saving award as a result of some actions that he took along with other deputies investigating a serious motor vehicle accident on Route 490, where he and another deputy were awarded a life-saving award for the first aid that they rendered to an individual that was seriously injured until medical personnel could arrive. So congratulations, Richard. On a funnier note, I know you want to move along, but when the Arundequoit Post came out, young Aiden reads the headline and he says, Chief Boyan, chief for life. He says, Dad, does that mean you're not going to be the chief? It was a funny story. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know.
Item 10, STB 2013, number 3, authorizing Sergeant Todd Fitzsimmons and John Hall to travel to Albany, Georgia to pick up an armored Humvee.
Motion, please.
Moved.
And a second, please. Thank you. As your first official duty,
I didn't want to sit at the back table all by myself. I was hoping Director O'Brien would join me, but he left me back there all by myself. Whereas the Arundecoit Police Department, through the Federal Surplus Property Program, has the opportunity to acquire an armored, bullet-resistant, or plated Humvee at no cost to the department. And whereas this Humvee is not equipped with weapons and will be utilized for the safe removal of up to 20 individuals who are in need of assistance during a natural disaster, emergency situation, or other matters that may require the use of such equipment. The vehicle will not be retrofitted to include any stationary weapons. And whereas the Humvee has an estimated value of $60,000, and whereas the Humvee, which is located in Albany, Georgia, must be picked up by October 9th, 2013. And whereas it is requested that Sergeant Todd Fitzsimmons and John Hall travel to Albany, Georgia on October 8th and return on October 10th of 2013 with said Humvee. And whereas funding for this travel is available in the 2013 Police Department budget, account 01-3120-4100, with an approximate cost will be $1,330. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Sergeant Todd Fitzsimmons and John Hall travel to Albany, Georgia, to pick up and bring back said Humvee.
I wanted to enlighten the media and anyone else that this resolution was changed from what is on the website, and this resolution will be in its place. So if you'd like to discuss this one, that would be great.
This is an opportunity for us to acquire an asset for the town of Arundecoit and, in reality, any adjoining jurisdictions that might need its assistance. As you've seen from incidents in the past, mutual aid does exist with every law enforcement agency within this community, and we've had recent incidents, unfortunately, occur that have illustrated that. The equipment is has multifaceted uses in the sense that we just went through Superstorm Sandy, and the ability to move into, if in this particular situation, a lakefront community, and mobilize a number of individuals that might need assistance in evacuating from an area, placing them in a vehicle and moving them safely out would be a new piece of equipment for us at very little cost when you consider a $1,000 expense versus a $60,000 asset or piece of equipment for us. So it provides us with additional uses. The bullet-resistant and armor-proofing obviously would be helpful if something were to be of a more critical incident, but none of the weapons would be mounted on the vehicle or require any retrofitting in that regard.
Thank you.
Real quick, Chief, we talked about this. How did this come about that the town, was able to get this vehicle? I assume, there were other municipalities probably trying to get a vehicle like this.
That's correct.
Okay.
The town is very diligent about seeking opportunities to acquire equipment through the Federal Surplus Program. Mr. John Hall is our Special Projects Coordinator, and he is diligently on the internet, if you will, and the website associated with the 1033 program in order to acquire this particular item. It is somewhat timely. If you don't arrive in a particular window of opportunity, you may lose your chance to acquire that vehicle, and then we move down the list. We have also, have reason to believe that once these vehicles are gone, then they would no longer be available. We were led to believe that the program may be discontinued shortly for a second opportunity or bite at the apple for this particular piece of equipment may not exist.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Now, I have on the agenda for us to go into executive session for the pending litigation that we are about to enact. If you see no need for that to discuss this resolution or any further information, it's what we have been discussing as the settlement.
And nothing has changed since our
Nothing has
previous.
changed.
I have no need, Madam.
Okay, we're fine then?
Yeah.
So we do not need to go into executive session. Okay.
So item 10, STB 2013-4, approving settlement agreement for pending litigation.
Motion, please? I'll move it. Okay, thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Whereas on or about January 24th, 2012, Daniel Valenti, a former employee of the town of Arundecoit, County of Monroe, State of New York, commenced an action against the town of Arundecoit titled Valenti versus Town of Arundecoit in the Supreme Court of the State of New York, Monroe County, index number 2012-886. Known as the action, claiming that the town breached the collective bargaining agreement in effect at the time of his retirement from employment with the town of Arundecoit when it discontinued his participation in town-provided retiree health insurance. And whereas the town of Arundecoit filed counterclaims against Daniel Valenti as part of the action, wherein the town alleged that by continuing to accept town-provided retiree health insurance coverage while employed by the Village of Brockport, Daniel Valenti breached the collective bargaining agreement in effect at the time of his retirement from the town of Arundecoit, engaged in fraud, and was unjustly enriched. And whereas without admitting liability and solely in order to avoid the expenses and uncertainties of continued litigation, the parties agreed to compromise and settle all disputes and controversies between them, including but not limited to all claims and allegations asserted against one another in action. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby approves the settlement agreement to resolve the action, and all action required to be taken by the town pursuant to the settlement agreement is hereby authorized. And be it further resolved that Mary Joyce DeRizio, as town supervisor, is hereby authorized to execute the settlement agreement and any additional documents required pursuant to the settlement agreement. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. There's not much we can
No.
say. Okay. In hearing no further discussion, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And I believe that is it. Our next town board workshop is October 9th. Next
Long day.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we also have budget discussions here in the Broderick Room, and then our next regular town board meeting is October 15th. So if I could have a motion for adjournment, please?
Moved.
And a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries, and we are adjourned. Thank you for coming today. And congratulations again to Chief and to Enza as well.